All right, a bunch of you asked for my opinion on the Titan situation, so I figured I would just record a strategic industry analysis. And this is going to help you have longevity in the industry, make more money, provide even better service to your customers, all of that. And I'm also going to talk about some things we did to immunize ourselves against these types of situations. Before I dive in, though, best of luck to all the homies at Titan. No one wants to see you fail. We're all rooting for you to win. I hope you guys find great homes and keep crushing it. All right, big takeaway number one. And I've been a broken record on this. I believe that solar installers should grow and scale as big as they want within the constraints of quality and profitability. And the problem was and is companies chasing volume that they can't support and sustain. And as a result, quality and profitability suffer. And then months later, when they're looking at their statement of cash flows and their business model and saying, uh-oh, we got a crisis on our hands, guess what the short-term solution to that problem was? You guessed it. We need more volume. And they chased it at even further detriment to quality and profitability, and thus started this vicious flywheel spinning and spinning until companies found themselves in the precarious predicament where they were one crisis or one unlucky situation away from total bankruptcy and insolvency. And the problem is, no one knows until you get an email saying, hey, we're done. But I'm going to teach you some clues in this video so that you can know. Now, for most of the companies, that unlucky crisis came in the form of tightening or elimination of M1 payments and the associated clawbacks. At the time, everyone was like, these M1s are great. Interest-free money. Money now is better than money later. Why not take it? Well, the problem was that companies, and this includes sales dealers, by the way, built their model and their cash flows around what essentially are just payday loans. These are cash advances paid out on revenue that may or may not actually be earned. And so when they went away, it's like Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, you can see who's been swimming naked. Well, when the tide of M1s flowed away, it was disappointing to see how many companies had been swimming naked. And again, a lot still are. We just don't know. So how do you as a company immunize yourself against these types of situations? We, about 7 years ago, voluntarily stopped taking M1 payments. We just told the finance companies, hey, pay us when the revenue's earned after PTO. And at the time, this was like so crazy because, again, easy money. But it forced us to structure our business in a way where we could fund all of our install operations and all of our commissions from our own cash coffers. And we weren't dependent on payday loans from the finance companies. It's a key reason why when one of the largest private equity firms in the world, Blackstone, decided that they wanted a foothold in the residential solar industry, they chose a company that not only had a scalable model, but a sustainable model, and weren't interested in companies that were just recklessly chasing growth because for some reason in our industry, we equate bigger with better. Now, here's something for you to think about. I want you to think about this. When the finance companies tightened M1s, did you feel it? Was how you were paid, what you were paid, or when you were paid affected in any way? If it was, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but your company's cash flows and viability are dependent on these payday loans. And the fact that that's the majority of the companies in our industry does not make it okay and does not mean that you should not be very, very concerned about this. So again, takeaway number one, massive scale for scale's sake is out. It's not cool. Nobody cares. The customer doesn't care. They care how good you are here. And 99.999% of sales reps and sales leaders don't care because we just operate in a market usually anyway. Profitability and quality are paramount. Takeaway number two, I hope we as a sales industry now understand how important it is for installers to be profitable. I hope we can ditch the zero-sum scarcity win-lose mentality of, hey, the less profitable you are, the more profitable I am. There's this narrative that it's all the same. and the only differentiator is price. We're in a commodity industry and there's no difference. That is just fundamentally false. Installers can use increased profitability to provide better product, better install, better service, and better experience to the customer. In fact, when companies have cash flow issues or operating on too thin a margin, things get really, really weird. Corners get cut on the operations side and the customer feels it. Weird stuff starts happening with pay, and sales reps and sales leaders feel it. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you felt it. Installers could use increased profits to legitimately provide differentiated resources to sales reps and sales leaders that allow us to make more money doing the same work with less stress. Better reviews that increase our conversions on leads and sales. Not having to spend our precious sales and recruiting time managing pipeline. Companies that have cash can fund incredible setter programs where reps are paid quick and they're paid well, and it can scale infinitely. We have double-digit 200 plus account reps. We have reps that do 300 and 400 accounts because we have the profitability to fund programs like this. Recruiting programs where you don't have to go find reps. You can just focus on training and retaining. The company will send you vetted, boot camped, ready to knock reps. These are real value propositions that are only possible when companies are focused on quality and profitability. So to wrap this up, there's going to be a shift in our industry. Reps are going to move from sales dealers towards working directly for installers that do an incredible job in local markets. Reps are going to shift their focus from assuming that the largest company is automatically the best to asking important questions like, how do you fund your operations? Do you pay for it with cash or are you dependent on payday loans? They're going to care less about how profitable a company is, and they're going to care more about what resources, unique differentiated resources that company can provide to help them grow and scale and take care of their customers. Now, does this mean small is better and big is bad? No, you can build a massive company. We're a massive company. It just depends how you got there. In our case, we averaged adding about a state a year for a decade plus, and now have a large company that also maintain quality and profitability throughout the process. Now, if you have questions, if you have different opinions, if you want to know how your company's model and strategy fits within the greater context of our industry and what that means for you and your career long-term, hit me up, shoot me a text, shoot me a DM, give me a call. I love talking about this stuff. And again, it breaks my heart to see what happened to Titan. But if we learn from it, we can go into the next phase of our industry's growth, smarter, wiser, with a correct definition of success and a heightened ability to identify what good opportunities look like for us as sales reps and sales leaders.